Raven Black had seen cheating husbands before, but nothing prepared her for this case. The man with the perfect marriage was living a lie so elaborate it destroyed everything she believed about love. Raven Black's emerald green eyes studied the woman sitting across from her desk with practiced assessment. Victoria Chen appeared to have everything: designer clothes, perfect makeup, the kind of confidence that came with a life of privilege. But there was something fragile beneath the polished exterior, a crack in the perfect facade that had brought her to a private investigator's office. "I know this sounds crazy," Victoria said, her manicured hands trembling slightly as she clutched her designer purse. "But I need you to prove that my husband isn't cheating on me." Raven's black hair caught the afternoon sunlight streaming through her office window as she leaned back in her chair. In 10 years of investigating marital problems, she'd never had a client ask her to prove innocence rather than guilt. "Most people come to me when they suspect infidelity," Raven said carefully. "What makes you think your husband is faithful?" Victoria's laugh was bitter. "Because everyone tells me how lucky I am. Michael is the perfect husband, they say. You're so blessed to have found a man like him. But lately, I've started to wonder if perfection is even possible." Michael Chen was indeed impressive on paper. Successful tech entrepreneur, devoted father to their twin daughters, active in charity work. He brought Victoria flowers every Friday, never missed a family dinner, and posted loving anniversary tributes on social media that made other wives jealous. "What's making you doubt him?" Raven asked, her investigative instinct sensing there was more to the story. "Little things," Victoria admitted. "He gets text messages at odd hours that he deletes immediately. He started working late more often, but when I call his office, his assistant says he left hours ago. And—" She hesitated. "He's become almost too perfect, like he's performing being a good husband rather than actually being one." Raven's investigation began with what should have been routine surveillance. Following Michael Chen proved more challenging than most cases. The man's schedule was clockwork: office, gym, charity board meeting, family dinner. He seemed genuinely devoted to his family, patient with his daughters, affectionate with his wife. For 3 days, Raven found absolutely nothing suspicious. Then she noticed the second phone. During a coffee shop stakeout, Raven watched Michael receive a call on a device he'd kept hidden in his briefcase. The conversation was brief, but his body language changed completely, from relaxed businessman to someone with secrets. After ending the call, he immediately drove to an address Raven had never seen him visit. The address led to an upscale apartment complex across town. Raven's emerald eyes widened as she watched Michael use a key to enter a unit on the third floor, moving with the familiarity of someone who belonged there. "This isn't about an affair," Raven whispered to herself as she photographed Michael's entry. "This is something else entirely." The truth was far more devastating than a simple extramarital relationship. Using her contacts in property records and credit reporting, Raven uncovered a financial trail that made her stomach drop. The apartment was leased under the name Marcus Williams, Michael's middle name and his mother's maiden name. But the identity went deeper than just a rental agreement. Marcus Williams had a full credit history, employment records, even a driver's license. This wasn't just a fake name for hiding an affair. This was a complete alternate identity that Michael had been building for years. Further investigation revealed that Marcus owned several investment properties, held bank accounts with substantial balances, and was engaged to a woman named Jennifer Davis, a teacher who believed she was dating a successful real estate investor. Raven sat in her car outside Jennifer's apartment, watching through her telephoto lens as Michael, now dressed casually as Marcus, brought flowers to a woman who kissed him with the same devotion Victoria showed. The black-haired detective had uncovered bigamy, but the scope of Michael's deception went far beyond having two wives. The financial fraud was staggering in its complexity. Marcus Williams had been systematically embezzling money from Michael's own companies, transferring funds to offshore accounts that only the alternate identity could access. He was essentially stealing from himself to fund a completely separate life, while planning to eventually disappear as Michael Chen and emerge permanently as Marcus Williams. Victoria and their daughters weren't just being betrayed, they were being abandoned and financially destroyed in the process. Michael had been gradually liquidating their joint assets, claiming they were investments while actually moving the money beyond Victoria's reach. Raven's green eyes filled with tears as she compiled the evidence. This wasn't just infidelity or even bigamy. This was a calculated, years-long plan to erase one life and create another, leaving Victoria and their children with nothing but the shell of a marriage that had never been real. "I've seen cheating husbands," Raven told herself as she prepared her report, "but I've never seen someone erase their entire family from existence." The confrontation in Raven's office shattered Victoria's world. "Your husband isn't just cheating on you," Raven said gently, spreading photographs and financial documents across her desk. "He's been building a completely separate life for the past 4 years. He has another identity, another fiancée, and he's been stealing your marital assets to fund it all." Victoria stared at the evidence in disbelief. Photos of Michael as Marcus, kissing another woman, signing lease agreements under a fake name, transferring money to accounts Victoria never knew existed. "He's planning to disappear," Raven continued. "Based on the timeline, I estimate he intended to fake his death as Michael Chen within the next 6 months, leaving you a widow with substantial debts while he started a new life as Marcus Williams. The perfect husband Victoria's friends had envied was a master manipulator who had spent years planning the ultimate betrayal. Not just infidelity, but complete abandonment disguised as tragedy." The aftermath revealed the true scope of Michael's sociopathic planning. When confronted with Raven's evidence, Michael showed no remorse for the elaborate deception. His only concern was that his plan had been discovered before completion. During the divorce proceedings, forensic accountants uncovered nearly $2 million that had been moved to the Marcus Williams identity. Jennifer Davis, the other woman, was also a victim. She had no idea that her fiancé was married with children. The teacher had been carefully chosen because her trusting nature and financial innocence made her an easy mark for Michael's manipulations. Victoria eventually recovered most of the stolen assets and gained full custody of their daughters. But the emotional devastation of learning that her entire marriage had been performance art by a master manipulator took years to heal. Raven Black, the emerald-eyed private investigator who thought she'd seen every form of marital betrayal, learned that some people don't just cheat on their spouses, they systematically erase them from existence while making them believe they're living in perfect love. The case changed Raven's understanding of human deception forever. She had uncovered not just a perfect husband's lie, but a perfect psychopath's masterpiece of manipulation that redefined everything she thought she knew about the capacity for evil disguised as love. Raven Black's investigation of the perfect husband reminds us that the most dangerous deceptions are the ones that masquerade as love. Her discovery shows us that some betrayals go far beyond infidelity. They're complete erasures of the people who trust us most. If Raven Black's shocking investigation amazed you, subscribe to The Dark Truth for more unbelievable cases of deception and betrayal. Hit like if you believe everyone deserves to know the truth about the people they love. Tell us in the comments. What would you do if you discovered your perfect life was built on lies? Share Raven's story with someone who needs to remember that true love doesn't require performance. Until next time, remember that the most dangerous lies are the ones told by people who make us feel perfectly loved.